In this video, we're going to show you an easy way to make a homemade all-natural deodorant. But let's talk first about why somebody would want to make their own deodorant. There are so much evidence now showing the problematic and carcinogenic ingredients in regular deodorants. But what most people don't know is even in the so-called healthy deodorants that don't have aluminum and parabens in them, there are still so many problematic ingredients that you want to avoid. Deodorants and antiperspirants are now being associated with a higher rate of breast cancer and prostate cancer in men. And the reason that is because when we are sweating, we're eliminating toxins from our body. When you use antiperspirant, you're blocking the ability for your body to eliminate these toxins. The reason these are being blocked is because of aluminum. Now, aluminum in itself is linked to Alzheimer's and breast cancer. The next ingredient you want to avoid are parabens. Parabens are synthetic preservatives. Paraben exposure has been linked to birth defects and organ toxicity, and they're suspected to disrupt hormonal balance. This can lead to hormonal cancer, including breast cancer. Now, the Center for Disease Control recently did a study at 100 random urine samples. They found that all 100 of them had parabens in them. Now, it's not just because of deodorant. This is also in makeup and so many other things. But the point is how easily parabens and other ingredients are absorbed through your skin. Anything you put on your skin gets absorbed directly into your bloodstream as opposed to eating it where you go through your digestive system first. So often it's worse to put anything on your skin that's bad for you than it is to eat it. For this reason, you want to only put things on your skin like your natural deodorant that are edible. The next ingredient you want to avoid is propylene glycol. Now, even though all these healthy deodorants have no aluminum and no parabens in them, often the first ingredient they have is this propylene glycol. What this is an antifreeze and a coolant, and it's used in motor oil. It's slick, so it's used as a cheap way to make the deodorant more easily applicable to the skin. Now, in small amounts, arguably it's not bad for you, but in large amounts, it has been proven to make problems for your central nervous system as well as your heart and your liver. Next, you have fragrances, which are bad in amongst themselves, but the fragrances are a legal way of hiding hundreds of chemicals, including phthalates. Phthalates are there to create a better consistency, but they've been linked to birth defects and other problems. Next one you want to avoid is triclosan. Triclosan is used because of its antibacterial and anti-odor properties, but the problem is it kills all your gut bacteria, leaving you more open to sickness, disease, and digestive problems. It's classified as a pesticide by the FDA and is a probable carcinogen by the EPA. In addition to these few ingredients that I mentioned, there are so many other ingredients on a label of regular deodorant and the so-called healthy deodorants that you really want to avoid, mainly because they're not anything that you would eat, so you don't want to put them on your skin, as I was saying earlier. All the ingredients that we use in the deodorant that we're going to make, you can actually ingest, and they're edible. They're healthy for you as well. Let's talk about what we want to put in our deodorant. Now, to begin with, when your skin, the first protective measure that it has is a fatty acid called sebum. And what the sebum does is it prevents infection and so many other bacteria from getting not only on your skin, but into your bloodstream. What happens when we shower and we use soap, we wash that sebum off. We want to replace that with a similar oil that's going to be beneficial to you, and that is coconut oil. It's also antibacterial. You always want to look for organic, unrefined, virgin, and cold pressed. Other ingredients that we want to use to help with the consistency is shea butter, because shea butter is also a great moisturizer. In addition to that, we're going to use baking soda. This has cleansing and antibacterial properties, but it also absorbs the sweat. If you have irritation from this deodorant, one thing you're going to want to use less of is the baking soda. Another thing that we use in there is arrowroot powder. This also absorbs the sweat. And then you're going to want to put in some essential oils. This helps to fight bacteria and also gives it a great smell. So these ingredients alone, for about $25, you can have maybe 2 years of deodorant. So not only is it way better for you and the environment, it's also way more economical and actually works better in my opinion. If you don't want to make this yourself, in the blog below I'll have a couple of deodorants that I like. The problem is they're just a little bit expensive, especially compared to what we're doing here. Now if you want to take this a step further, there's a few ingredients that you can add to this that are actually really healthy for your skin. The first one is cocoa butter. Cocoa butter has a great consistency holding this together and has a high melting point, so it's important to add this in the summer and is great for your skin. Next we're going to use beeswax because beeswax also helps with the consistency and it's also great for your skin. I also like to use bentonite clay because it's so healthy for your skin. It helps with allergies, eczema, cuts, rash, or acne, and it's often used as a mud mask. Warning with bentonite clay is if you use too much of it, it might stain light colored clothing, so you don't want to go with a whole lot of that. I also like to use a vitamin E oil, a couple drops of that, because it's very good for your skin and that it protects your skin and helps to repair it and prevents premature aging. Something else I like to put in there is a capsule full of probiotic powder. The reason I do this is because it provides good bacteria for your skin. This helps to fight off any infection, especially if you have a cut or something like that underneath your arms from shaving. To make enough for one person in a typical container like this, to start, mix up the powders. Start with 2 tablespoons of arrowroot powder, 1 tablespoon of baking soda. If you decide to add the bentonite clay, add a half a tablespoon of that. Next, in a double boiler or small pan like this, combine 1 tablespoon of cocoa butter, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, 1 tablespoon of shea butter, 1 tablespoon of beeswax. If you leave any of those ingredients out, just use equal parts of all those, equaling 4 tablespoons. Melt those at a low to medium temperature until it's liquid. Then, once melted together, let sit for a few minutes until the consistency becomes that of putty, and mix it with your powders. And add a 1/4 teaspoon of vitamin E oil. Then add about 15 drops of essential oils. I use peppermint, tea tree, and lavender. Then add 1 or 2 capsules of probiotics. Now there are a couple different ways you can use this. You can put it in a small glass container and have it in your bathroom and just take it off with your fingers and wipe it on you like regular deodorant. Or you can save your old deodorant containers and just pour them right into there. Then put it in the refrigerator to solidify totally. After an hour or so, you can take it out. You may have to twist the container a bit to get the deodorant from sticking to the sides so it can be turned up. More videos on health and wellness can be seen at theartofunity.com.